Good morning, students. Today we are going to see the numericals based on whatever formula we have studied related to heating effect in the chapter effects of electric current. So first, before we begin with the actual numerical, let us prepare list of formulae for solving the problem. Always remember, in board exams, even for higher grades, the key to solve any numerical is one should know thoroughly which formula is to be applied for that particular numerical. So let us begin one by one. Most basic will be Ohm's law, where V is equal to I into R. Then second one will be the current, which is rate of flow of charges. Then we'll have electric potential, in that case circuit diagram VAB, which was the potential difference across terminal A and B, given by electric potential is work done per unit charge, and that is by work done will be electric potential or that potential difference which was there across AB into charge. Then we have power, which is product of that potential difference and current, or can be written as I square R. So these are some of the basic formulae. Then the applied formulae which are obtained by using these basic formulas were like power is electrical energy per unit time, and that electrical energy is converted into heat. As we have seen yesterday, that energy can be created from one form to the another. So power will be equal to the heat energy produced across that resistor per unit time. So we can write H is equal to P into T. Now electrical energy consumed, the work done and all, they can be correlated with each other. Also we know power is I square R. So H will be equal to I square RT. This will be the formula which will be required for solving the exercise. So solved problems you can practice on your own. I will be more focusing on the unsolved numericals which are given in the exercise of this textbook. Let us see on page number 61, question number 12, they have given total 4 unsolved numericals. One by one, we will try to cover all of them. I will read the question for you. Depending on the question, we will try to frame out which suitable formulas can be applied, and then we will directly substitute the values provided in the question to obtain the answer. Like the first question is question A, simultaneously while reading the question, I will find out what is given in that question. Heat energy is being produced in a resistance in a circuit at the rate of 100 watt. So, power given over here is 100 watt. Second thing is, the current of 3 ampere is flowing in the circuit. So, then we say current is denoted by letter I, and which is nothing but 3 amperes. They have asked what must be the value of the resistance. They want to calculate resistance. So, to find capital R. So, nicely we have all the data, the required formulae and everything along with us. Let us try to find out which suitable formula can be applied in which all these 3 terms are given. Power is there, current is there and resistance is there. So, we can use the formula P equal to I square R. This formula which is applicable over here is P is equal to I square R. So, then R will be P upon I square. So simple. So, in this case R is equal to P upon I square. We are already aware of the formulas. We have the given, all those given values we will try to substitute in this equation or this formula, and we get R is equal to value of P is 100 watt upon value of current is 3. So, we have to square it. Let us write the squared value of it. So, it will be R is equal to 100 by 9, and if we do this division, the answer comes out approximately to be 11 ohms. So, such kind of numerical can be asked in board exams for 2 marks. What will be the distribution of marks in such situation? Half mark will be for the formula, half mark will be for the substitution, and 1 mark will be for the correct calculated answer along with the correct SI unit. So, this is the way one can easily approach to solve a numerical in board exams. So, I hope this problem is very clear to all of you. This was the most basic numerical which is there in this exercise. Now, before we proceed towards those numericals where we have to calculate things like calculating the electricity bill, household appliances bill, etc., etc., we need to study few more concepts. Before that, let us solve problem B in this case. I hope you have copied down this. they have given there are two tungsten bulbs of wattage 100 watt and 60 watt. So, there are two tungsten bulbs. So, let us write out as P1 and P2. 100 watt and 60 watt. So, this much will be the power deliberated. More the power, we will find more is the intensity, more area can be illuminated. They have given these bulbs, they work on potential difference of 20 to 20 volt. So, the value is given for the potential difference to be 220 volt, and they want us to calculate if they are connected in parallel, how much current will flow in the main conductor. The bulbs are connected in parallel. So, what I can do for you is, we can draw a rough sketch where we show those two bulbs which are connected in parallel with respect to each other. And then this goes to a source of 220 volt. Now, it is not mentioned in the question, but it is understood that 220 AC volt is required, alternating current say is required 220 volt to illuminate these bulbs. Now, in lower classes we have studied, no doubt the bulbs will get illuminated. The total current I will be flowing through the circuit also obeys conservation. In that case, suppose this is the bulb with power P1, this is the bulb with power P2, the current flowing through P1 will be I1, the current flowing through P2 will be I2, and again they combine together to complete the circuit as I. For your information, I will tell you the reason behind this. Total current I of the conductor will be always algebraic sum of the individual currents flowing in the parallel branches, and this can be in accordance with a law which is known as KCL, Kirchhoff's current law, where it says in any junction whatever amount of current is approaching, same amount of current will be leaving away from the junction. So, the total current applied will always be equal to algebraic sum of all the currents flowing in the branches. I hope this is clear. Now, which formula is to be applied? So, let us find out first the values of I1, I2 either in formula or the numerical value of it by solving individually and then adding it at the end. So, I will call this equation as equation number 1. This is our main equation to calculate what they have said, how much current will flow in the main conductor. Let us see further. Which is the suitable formula which deals with power, potential difference and current. So, let us search in the list, and the fifth formula is suitable for solving this numerical, where we have power, the potential difference and the current. But we need current. So, we can write P1 is equal to potential difference into current flowing through that bulb, I1. Here we can't write V1 and V2. The reason is, whenever we connect appliances in parallel over here, the potential difference across all of them will remain the same. But in case of parallel, the current will get distributed. For power P1, the rating of current will be I1. So, I can find out I1 will be equal to P1 upon V. So, can I write simultaneously over here, comparing both? This is the first bulb, and the second bulb will have a situation of P2 is equal to V times I2. P2 is equal to V times. So, I2 will be P2 upon V. So, now if you observe, we have got formula for both I1 as well as I2. If you have copied till here, I can proceed further by substituting these values in equation 1. Substituting the values in equation 1. I hope all of you let us see what happens if we substitute it there. So, we will get I equal to P1 by V plus P2 by V. If you observe here, the denominator is the same. So, we can also write this as P1 plus P2 by V. Let us see what are the values of P1 and P2 and substitute them here. So, I will be 100 plus 60 and the potential difference is 220. Is this clear? Now, when we add that, we get value as 160 by, and let us sort this out. And roughly this will come out around 0.72 ampere, which is the required answer for our numerical. So, I hope all these steps, collection of the formulae helps us in solving any kind of difficult numerical. Whatever may be the level of that numerical, if one has knowledge of all the formulas, concept of the numerical or the question, understanding of that question, which formula is to be applied, easily you can solve any numerical in physics or in science 1. Most of the students, they have a fear factor of numericals. Actually, numericals are very easy to solve if you know the concept and they are quite helpful in scoring the marks. So, I hope that this concept is clear. Now, before we proceed towards the calculation of bill, I will like to add one article over here which deals with the unit used for calculating electricity bill. So, this kind of formulas are not given exactly in the textbook, but I have tried to compose it so that while solving the numericals one may find it easier to get the answer. So far we know that power has unit watt, but to calculate the electrical energy consumed, this unit is smaller. This unit is smaller. So, we use kilowatt to calculate electrical energy consumed in given time, and the time is to be measured in hour. So, overall the unit will become kilowatt hour. This is the way to calculate. In previous old syllabus, this article was called BOT. BOT stands for Board of Trade. Like the local electricity board for a particular state, for a particular district, they sell electricity to the consumers. So, when they sell the electricity to the consumers, they must be having some rate, like we purchase things outside. So, every single quantity has some rates, and from the single quantity rate one can calculate the cost of the entire thing purchased. Similarly, what we are going to do is, we will be having the information of 1 kilowatt hour at the rate of certain rupees. So, whatever kilowatt hour will be consumed, that you just multiply with the rate and you will get the cost of that electricity bill for whatever time duration it was used. So, this is the way to calculate the electricity bill. Now, one more thing, here there is a conversion which can be asked in the numerical, or a separate question like 1 kilowatt hour. We are aware this will be contributing to 1000 watt hour. Also, power is work upon time. Work done in SI unit is measured in joules, time is measured in second. So, we can also say 1 watt is 1 joule per second. I will apply that in this case. So, it will become 1000 into 1 joule per second. And one more thing, here we have 1 hour, and we are all aware, students, that in 1 hour we have 3600 seconds. Like 60 seconds in 1 minute, and in 1 hour 60 minutes are there. So, the total comes out to be 3600 seconds. So, that instead of hour I can write down the time duration in SI units 3600 seconds. So, if you observe here, these two things they get cancelled and the value comes out to be this much joules. So, we can also write it in this form 3.6, this 1000 and the other 1000 contributes to 10 raised to 6 joules. Also remember one more additional thing, any quantity which is mega is of the order 10 raised to 6. So, we can say 1 kilowatt hour is nothing but 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joules. So, today we have seen sufficient things. First, we had prepared list of the formulae right from the basic up to the advanced formula, which is helpful further in solving the numericals. Then we saw two simple numericals which were based on the power, the calculating the resistance, and then after that we have seen what is the unit actually used for calculating the electricity. Based on the rate you can get the cost, and then at the end we saw that how 1 kilowatt hour can be converted into joules. So, I hope that whatever is taught to you is absolutely clear. Based on those two numericals, try to solve the solved numericals given in the textbook. Thank you very much.